we'll do is sort of, I'll give you some brief background, although the volunteers have already talked a little bit about the motivation. All of us know that chemical industry is one of the most polluting industries. Now, having said that, I think chemical industry will also play a very important role in solving many of these problems. So, although we are the problem creators, we are also the problem solvers. So, I would also like the panelists even during the discussion to also highlight some of the success stories. Let's not just criticize and complain, but let's also discuss some of the solutions and what has worked, what has not worked. So to begin with, I would request all the panelists to give a brief introductory remark, maybe about 3 to 4 minutes each. So to set the tone, it could be your own personal thoughts or your organization's thought, and then we'll get into these specific questions. So maybe I request Mr. Karhale to begin.
Yeah. So I'm from Aarti Industries Limited. This is a basically specialty chemical manufacturing company, like benzene, chlorination, nitration, hydrogenation. So our finished good is going to most of the agrochemical industry, dye industries, pesticides, pharma, rubber industry. So our industry is located mostly in Gujarat, Vapi, Dahej, Jagadia, Kutch side. So our founder view is we have to grow only sustainable manner. Not okay. 10 years back, maybe there is a slightly difference, but right now they have taken like expert like us last 3 years, and we are working on only sustainable part. So sustainability department is there, about 40 persons there. We have already accredited for a responsible care committed company, also 14,000 OSHA's UMS. We have EcoVadis gold medal. Lot of environmental and sustainability award also we got due to the sustainable goal. So 5 years back there may be some compromise of production activity, but right now we have instruction from founder only. Okay, there is a zero tolerance. So there is no deviation in environment, safety and sustainability. They are founder only talking about CO2 emissions reduction, how to reduce the CO2 emissions, how to achieve carbon footprint. So Aarti has implemented ZLD also. We have 16 chemical units, different locations. Out of 16, we have 10 ZLD units. So about 44% water withdrawal we are avoiding due to the ZLD part, and about 85% we are recycling and floating back into the processes by consisting RO, multiple effective operator, ATFDs, and ETP plant. So our more focus is waste reduction, waste conversion into valuable products, recovery, improvement, recycling, root changes. Like this approach is there. We have R&D at Thane, about 300 scientists is working there for new molecules as well as existing molecules. We are taking academic support also for improve our existing situations. We have hazardous waste management, good hazardous waste management, because Aarti have lot of byproduct generation like spent solvent, spent sulfuric acid, spent HCl, and right now as per 2016 rule that all byproducts coming under hazardous waste category. So we have to manage properly. So for that hazardous waste conversion, Aarti have like HCl to calcium chloride, H2SO4 to single superphosphate. SOx we are converting into NaSH, NOx we are converting into that particularly NSA. So we have aluminum hydroxides also, that also we are converting into the valuable products. So all hazardous waste, which is previously byproducts, we are converting into value product, or we are giving to individual those using as a raw material. Lot of incinerable waste having good calorific value, we are giving to cement industry. because due to calorific value, they are replacing their coal as a fuel. Because there is a T, 3T is important for co-processing. You are burning up combustion of any residues like time, turbulence, and temperature. So there is a favorable condition at cement industry. If you see the time, incinerator having only 3 seconds resident time, and cement industry about 20 seconds. Temperature incinerator have about 1150 degree, and cement industry have about 1800 degrees. In incineration plant, there is a stationary chamber, so there is no turbulence for particular residue. In cement industry, there is a lot of turbulence due to rotary equipment they are using for that. So there is a favorable condition. So industry is approaching to cement industry as a co-processing replacement the fuel. Second part, there is a feeder requirement. So fly ash utilization also very important part to cement industry. About 5% fly ash utilizing after this clean. So we are given lot of gypsum, fly ash as well as ETP sludges also. Only there is a requirement of chloride. Chloride required below 3%. Then only they are accepting. So like this energy wise also we have lot of initiative we are taking. Waste heat recovery. Second thing, replace of coal by using biomass briquettes. So that is also one initiative we have. Then in process part also we have started just carbon capturing part. We are replacement of raw material like calcium chloride, calcium carbonate to KOH in reaction. So there is the avoidance of the CO2 emission. So like this approach is there. So on monthly basis, our founder also sitting for particularly meeting of sustainability policy, of policy, all these things. They are personally involved in how to have carbon capturing phenomena going on, all these things. They are investing also. So we have zero tolerance for, I am heading environment and sustainability here, but for deviation, I have zero power. So that is for, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's time.
Thanks for giving this opportunity to participate in this event. I am working with Godrej Industries Limited. Godrej, as we know that this is 125 years, we call it as a young organization. We are catching into various sectors from chemicals, properties, consumer goods, agrochemicals, and we have, for the sustainability aspect, we have started a division under the name of Food and Green, under which we are taking many initiatives in order to promote the sustainability factor. A few examples which I would like to share, as we started our manufacturing facilities by all chemical processes. And there are so many, as any chemical industry has a problem of emissions, then effluents, and in over the period when we started working on the sustainability aspect, and then we came across with many brainstorming internal sessions, and then we started checking our operations. As a result, we started converting our chemical processes into semi-chemical or enzymatic process also, and I'm extremely glad to say that we have converted many of our batch processes from chemical to enzymatic processes. We have started also biosurfactant, which is a fermentation process. Again, that in fermentation process, though the product is a biosurfactant, it's a green product, but then the effluent coming out of this fermentation process, that was an issue. And then our team came up with excellent idea, and we have started converting that effluent from biosurfactant plant into a biofertilizer. Now we are working on this nano urea, which is also one of the very important developments. We have started certain processes like ozonolysis, which is purely based on oleochemicals. And one good part is that we have shifted from most of the raw materials to oleochemical sources. Again, There are many, for in FMCG, but particularly in consumer goods, there are so many conditioners or the ingredients which are based on mineral or synthetic chemicals like silicones. We have developed oleo-based chemicals which are absolutely 100% biodegradable. In terms of usages, they are very, very less compared to the normal dosages. And we are taking so many steps. We are working already with ICT, we are working with NCL. Unfortunately, with IIT, the collaborations too happen. But we are working with very premier institutes and with industry, academia, venture. We are getting into excellent ideas and processes. And definitely, I think today's session will also boost so many thoughts to industry also. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Both.
Yeah. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this panel. I'm Sunil Potale. I actually am basically a manufacturing guy. I worked in chemical industry for almost 37 years. 15 years I was with Bayer, and around last 20 years I was with United Phosphorus Chemicals. And after I got retired from UPL, I joined here as an adjunct professor. That's another story I will share with you. Now, today's basic subject is sustainability green chemical industry. Why this need has come? Because whenever we are manufacturing any chemical, there are three types of pollutant we generate. One is air pollution, one is water pollution, and third is the hazardous waste, which is the solid hazardous waste. And the idea of green chemistry is how can we reduce all these three pollutions. And for that, there are now a lot of industries they have come forward and they have started working on reducing the waste in all the three forms and try to make the chemical so that there will be less pollution across the surrounding. I remember in UPL we were working really very hard on this, and we have developed few departments, particularly on ensuring that pollution can be minimized. Like we had one cell called Max Pro, which is called Maximize Profit, where all chemical engineers and BSc and PhDs they were working. The idea there is again to utilize the chemical engineering principles and to reduce the waste generation. Now, whenever we know that whenever we run a particular chemistry, there are side products are formed. And what is side product? That is all waste that is getting generated, and we try to throw it away, that side product. So, how we can improve the yield by really utilizing the chemical engineering principles, which are generally not taken care of to the extent required in the chemical industry. So, once we had formed this cell, there were a lot of improvements which we observed, like solvent reduction. A lot of solvent were going into the environment, going along with the water. So these cells were working to capture all this solvent from the environment. I remember the solvent consumption ratio, which was around 220, we have reduced to around 60. So that was the potential available, but since there were no specific effort that were put in to really control that, you will not get the results. So once we focus on a particular activity, definitely we get the results. So that way we again enhanced this and we developed a green cell. Now the green cell, the purpose of green cell is exactly the same to work on the sustainability, and their focus was how we can reduce the effluent, how we can treat the effluent in a better way. We were the first chemical industry in the agrochemical which was converted to ZLD. I remember I was there at that time, and one complete unit was converted to zero liquid discharge unit. Of course, there was a cost, and there was a commitment of the management that yes, even if there is a cost, which will be loaded on the product, we will start this. And I will be happy to tell you that over a period, the improvements were to such an extent that that cost, which was the extra cost, got really nullified. And we started getting no cost for additional effluent treatment or ZLD. So the point is, it is quite possible to convert all these hazardous waste into usable product. Like Karhale has mentioned, Aarti is also doing a huge work on this particular activity, and they are converting many byproducts which are generally industry. In past the industry were looking only for the main product. They were not much bothered about the byproduct that are getting generated. And they used to sell the byproduct at throwaway prices. But now, since there is a pressure on the government also that you can't just throw away your byproducts. You have to generate a value out of that, and that has really boosted industry to really look into the sustainability. And it's good going, I will say, and a lot of support is required from the institute, and that's why we were connected and are connected. UPL was connected with ICT, with IIT, with even LIT, Nagpur, to get the technical input, and we were benefited out of that, and that's why I thought of joining IIT, so that there will be a good interaction between industry and academia, because there is a huge knowledge available here, and if that knowledge can be utilized in the industry, then it's of use. Otherwise, it is many theses they are there and they are in the cupboard. But if that thesis can be really put into the practice and utilized, I think there is a lot of potential available. So let's hope that we will work in this direction and maintain the sustainability across the world and India.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Yeah.
Thanks to the organizers. Sustainability is no more a matter of choice now, it's a matter of existence. I'm telling this with a responsibility, for the sense that companies which are in NCR, they really had a very bad time when in the month of November 2021, the air quality, we have a commission on air quality management, and they come up with the guideline that all manufacturing unit in NCR should either shift to PNG, that is pipe natural gas, or to clean fuel. The question is, what can be done as a clean fuel, right? I will tell about that maybe during the course. And second most important thing is, Karhale ji was talking about EC. In 2016, my research mentor, Dr. B.D. Kulkarni, who happened to be the chairman of EC of Maharashtra government, and though there was a lot of resistance, he introduced life cycle assessment as far as chemical processes are concerned. Because chemical process industries are going for environmental clearance, either if they are going for a new plant or for the expansion of their existing facility. So LCA was made mandatory, along with their EIA. Now, the Minister of Environment and Forest at Delhi, they made all pesticide industries that they should disclose their carbon credit. They should tell the end of life of their products. So, sustainability life cycle assessment is not a matter of choice. SEBI this year only has made all 1,000 BSc index industries to disclose their sustainability reporting. So this is for all students who would be aspiring for career. There is a huge opportunity, and trust me, the manpower required, the skilled manpower required, there is a serious dearth of it. Now what we do at VNIT, we work on process development and problem solving for the industries where the raw material comes from farm, where the raw material is grown in agriculture. So that is our main area of work and the industries that we cater. We may call it as a biorefinery or maybe a bioeconomy extended. The challenges in these sectors are at both the terminals. That is at cradle, where we grow on farm So I need to have sustainable agriculture and even at the grave, because I'm producing a lot of organic waste, and handling organic waste is uncommon because it has a lot of serious issues, both organic loading, at the same time a lot of water has to be handled. Now coming to what we are looking for, this is the talk, these experts from that almost 10 years before, Dr. Kulkarni gave a talk in LIT, the future of chemical engineering. There he told that in the next 10 years, 20 years, engineering sciences will not change, but the technology will change, the equipment will change, and it's the sustainability. So the basic needs that civilization or you and me require is energy, maybe as electricity, fuel, for transportation. We require organic chemicals, we require polymers. All these basic fundamental needs at this moment are made with crude oil. The idea is, can I have the same platform chemicals instead of crude oil, but from the raw material which is grown in farm? And this transition is challenging, no doubt about it. I want the same product, but the raw material is now different. Though the transition is challenging, it throws a lot of opportunities to you and me, because this will harbor new technologies, innovation, and I personally believe that this climate change and sustainability, it's not blessing in disguise, but it's an opportunity in disguise. How well we actually capture it. The first step in the journey, maybe for net zero, maybe for sustainability, is to measure. I need to measure, I need to audit. Let it be water, let it be energy, let it be carbon. This helps in identifying hotspots and concentrate our efforts. And I'm happy to tell you that a group of my research scholars, they come up with this startup Sustain, and Godrej is one of our clients. We did for their, we work with their Good and Green, and we work for the FMCG. We have a representative from Merino. We are working closely with Merino Industries. They are market leaders in furnitures and laminates. So we have Mayank Singhvi from Merino, he's here. And by the way, this is done by research scholars. And so they are earning, at the same time they are pursuing the PhD work. We have very strong ties and strategic partnership, as I told, with Merino. Merino has started Merino Innovation Center in VNIT. Focus only on sustainability, coming up new technologies. Later during the session, I will talk about that. And here at Merino Innovation Center, we have converted the challenges both at cradle and the grave phase into opportunities. To mention few technologies which are commercialized based on these efforts, there are serious, extremely serious national environmental problems. One is this stubble burning in NCR. So we come up with rapid composting of paddy straw, solving both the issues, solving the problem of stubble burning at the same time, helping in sustainable agriculture. Then advocating use of biomass as a clean fuel, as I told you in the initial remark, that a Commission on Air Quality has gray area in defining the clean fuel. So we advocated, I was a part of the team, Merino being the part of NCR, one senior professor from IIT Delhi, Professor Grover, he was another fellow, and we advocated that let us call this biomass as one of the clean fuels because it has social as well as huge economical impact. And fortunately, in February 22, the biomass is considered as a clean fuel. Then potato biorefinery, I belong to Nagpur, so we are working with NGOs where oranges are going waste. So waste oranges biorefinery, creating valuable products out of it. And another thing is about on-farm, we have agricultural waste, which is either green or brown, creating value out of it. So I will talk about this if I get a chance, but I just want to make a point that sustainability is not a choice, it's a matter of existence for you and me. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all the panelists for those opening remarks. So let me start by asking one question, which is sort of the elephant in the room, and that is the economics. So there is a perception that whatever is green or sustainable is going to be expensive. So I want to direct this question at Mr. Naidu. what is the thinking process in Godrej? Some of the solutions you mentioned could be win-win solutions, but if you have these kind of challenges, what is the thinking in Godrej as well as generally?
Surely, you rightly pointed out that yes, whatever is green has value and it's expensive. Yeah, when we started working on very simple, I mean, the virus effect which I was talking about, when we introduced this product, when we started working on that, the cost was very high. Initial cost was very high. I mean, the product has excellent properties in terms of surfactant, in terms of its nature, applicability, but then because of the cost, customers were very reluctant to accept. Even for trial purpose also, they were not ready to purchase this. And then, of course, then we started working on that. More and more we started working on that, and then we decided as a group policy, we said nothing doing. We will not go with the cost factor. We'll see how to do it. Let us push it, give it to customers. We give it to many institutes, many consumers on very reasonable cost. And in the meantime, we were working on the how can we reduce the cost. And today, I'm very happy to say that yes, now the product is being accepted. We have tried to reduce the cost by our internal innovations. The similar is the enzymatic processes. The enzymes cost was very high. We can produce the product, but then we cannot sell it. Because we can have the product, but if it is not accepted by the consumer, then it has no value. But then we started interacting with customers also. That how can we work together? What are the intangible benefits which will come into picture? And then we started interaction with the enzyme producers also. How can we work together? Because if you look at it only as a product and then sell it to us, if it is not acceptable to us, then it has no much of life. And then they also, our continuous interaction with the vendors, then consumers, and our internal R&D, and our management team. And then today we are introducing those products in market at reasonable, affordable price, maybe little more than that, but customers are also ready to accept that now. So we know, yes, it has the value, the cost, but as Godrej policy, many times we sacrifice the cost part on the initial phase, and this we work on making it sustainable and futuristic basis. So yes, we are very much concerned about the both the social and economic aspects.
So thanks. So I'm glad to hear that some of the cost aspects are being addressed, even though the product could be more costly, it is being encouraged. So that is fine. For a company like Godrej, obviously they have probably the bandwidth to take these risks. But a lot of our manufacturing is happening at small and medium scale industries. So maybe I'll request Mr. Karhale to address this issue. So if you go to any industrial area, a lot of the pollution is probably because of these small and medium scale industries. So first of all, how to address this, and how can we create solutions based on science and engineering approaches? So essentially, how can IIT, for example, or similar academic institutions can collaborate or can solve these problems for small and medium scale industries?
Yeah. So definitely there is a gap in small scale industry because there is no awareness, knowledge also, and there is a financial crisis also there. But if you see the legally after 2006 notification, EC notification, so small scale industry is not there. There is a previously in 1994 EC condition, there was a financial condition, capital investment. So small scale industry there is a exempted into environmental clearances. So right now in 2006, if you see this depend on the product category, like A category and B category. So A category is a more environmental impact industry. B category is a slightly less. So even though small scale industry, and if you are coming in the A category, so same requirement is there. Environmental condition is the same. So they are legally bonded. Second thing, technological. So many small scale industries, are doing job work of big industries. So there is a duty of big industries. So you have to transfer that knowledge to small scale industry. There is maybe small issues, but there is a more environmental impact due to awareness. So there is a duty of big industry to transfer their technology at the small scale industries. One thing. Second thing, many small scale, medium scale industry right now they are connected to academy. Yeah, some pollution control board also they are taking clinic-led projects. So they are gathering a monthly basis and they are resolving small scale industries problem. There is a maybe due to the technological upgradation they not made possible. But there is a common facilities also there. They are taking membership of CETPs, land billing and all these things. There may be small air pollution control measure requirement. So we have to provide technical assistance to them. Then only this type of problem will be resolved. But right now pollution control board also dealing same like big industry and small scale. So there is a lot of reduction in the pollution control, pollutions like air, water as well as hazardous. So there is no right now difference. 20 years back there was difference, but now they are treating as the same. And yeah, one more thing I will clear here. Whenever you are going to green now, okay, I am aligned with Naidu. Many times there is a financial, if you have worked for green, there is a financial, economical not viable. But many projects I have seen in university, whenever you are reduction now, there is a lot of benefits. Whenever you are going into green now, there is a lot of reduction. I will give an example. If you are start having 50,000 nm cube per hour is the flow rate, you are achieving norms like 150 pm, and that is your product. If you reduce that 50%, there may be 10 kg per hour reduction of your product. And for that, not major requirement, maybe one more addition of the scrubber, yeah, addition of dust collector may be required. And your payback period may be the 6 months only. You are giving your waste to co-processing cement industry. Right now, incineration plant is charging about 45 rupees per kg. And they are charging only 6 to 7 rupees cost. So whenever you are going to green, there is a lot of benefits also. Maybe payback period may be required 2 to 3 years time. I will give an example of my ex-company. There is a heading by Sunil also. One pesticide plant, there was a power consumption about 3700 kWh per metric ton. That brought down about 1700 kWh per metric ton. There is a lot of initiatives because that reaction was running in minus 30 degrees centigrade. By root change, technological change, batch to continuous process. That reaction right now is in minus 20 degrees centigrade. Previously, media was using as a methanol. Right now, is salt water media. So methanol was the media previously solvent. That is about 350 kg per metric ton. Right now, 100% eliminated. So lot of benefit we have, but your initiative is only important against that. So, for example, if you introduce HPROs right now, before multiple effective operator of MVR, and you are right now feeding is a 20,000 TDS to MVA, you can concentrate up to 1 lakh. So about 70-80% reduction in ME feed. So about ME cost is about 1300 rupees per kg. CO2 maybe requires 700 kg. For RO maybe required 100. RO cost is only 200 rupees. So there is a lot of difference. If you go greener, definitely there is a cost reduction, CO2 emission reduction, energy conservation part. So you have to share this knowledge with small scale. Then only there is a possibility of implementing small scale. Thank you.
I think as per far as small scale industries are concerned, that was your main point, how to address that. Definitely small scale industries, they do not have that bandwidth. Financially also, technicality also. They can't afford technical people only to do the improvement. So what is being done by big industries like UPL has set up common incinerator where small scale industries can give their best for the incineration. Small scale industry cannot put the incinerator because they don't have that. Similarly, there is a common effluent treatment plant (CETP) where small scale industries they can put their effluent there and it can be treated at one location. So that way, small scale industry can be benefited, or we can support small scale industry. What is not existing, I would like to insist more on, is a technical support. Technical support in the sense, like say we have started this SLP IDP course. If we start taking small scale industries, take the small scale industry problem and resolve those problems, give them the technical support. That type of center is not there across. If I see, there is one excellence center that is set up in Vapi, which was for this purpose. That if you have certain problem, just get the problem, bring it to the excellence center. They will give the solution. They will charge something, but it will be payback based. There will be a payback of 1 year or 1.5 years, and they will get the solution. So that type of facility where these small scale industries can approach the excellence center, technical excellence center, I mean to say, like whatever big industries are doing. If we have a technical center, small scale industries should approach that center, give their problem, get the solution, and it will be win-win situation. Like center also will get some financial benefit. At the same time, industry will get definitely much more, because the way small scale industries are run is pathetic. It's pathetic, I will say. Even if they want to have a decision column, they will say, "Arey column mein wo le lo, laga do." That way it is. They never go into the calculation whether it is right, wrong, and then a lot of environment pollution, because you are not getting the recoveries properly. So small scale industry is a major concern. Many big industries like Godrej, Aarti, UPL, they are already they are doing good job. But small scale industry is a concern, and there is no support as of today. So that need to be given by some technical centers, excellence centers. How that can be done, I think IIT and VNIT, we can come forward and start that type of excellence center where they will come and get the technical support, is what I feel.
Thank you.
Yogendra, I still remember Professor Arun Mohori visited VNIT, and he was talking about what he is telling, something called industry clinic. So industries, small scale industries and industries around, they can come and maybe once in 2 months or 3 months time, and let there be a kind of an open lab and have a discussion, because they even struggle with very small testing and analysis facilities as well, which is very mundane for us. I know a couple of people, they were not knowing how to find out density. Small things, but for them it's a big thing. And I like that idea. Of course, I do not know whether your department ever did. Then Professor expired.
Thanks. So actually my subsequent question was sort of related follow-up. So if you look at literature on green chemical synthesis, the terms that would often commonly come up are green chemistry, biomimicry, bio-based processing. And there are increasingly more courses, more departments are incorporating that. So maybe I'll direct this question to Sachin, that so students learn some of these techniques. Now to translate that into industrial problem solution, what should be the procedure? And of course it has to come from both sides, but do you have any thoughts on that? How can whatever we learn in the classroom, how can that be used in practice?
In fact, I will tell you what we are doing right now instead of what should be done. I offer 2 courses. One course what Yogendra offers, sustainable engineering, and another course is innovative design. And the structure of the course is almost 25 to 30% is classroom engagement, and then the field visit is a mandatory part of it. Of course, we tell the student how to do field visit, so they should go visit fields. And the definition of field is you can go to common facilities, right? Or you can go to an industry. So field is something outside the four walls of the classroom. Once you go there, you identify the problems. And the end objective is not the solution, but the problem identification. And at the end of the field visit, they should come up with a couple of problems, right? There will be something called funneling, and based on 7, 8, 10 problems, which I perceive as a problem, but then there would be a kind of a to and fro, there will be a group discussion, and we will come up with a problem statement, well structured problem statement. Because properly structured problem statement can lead to a solution. So this is one. Second thing, which is quite successful in my case, is we are having this good interaction with the industries. Very strong interaction with marine industry. Then we are working with this good and green. Kavita, where there's Coromandel was there. We were working with Reddy's because then Coromandel went there. So there are problems around the topics of sustainability, and we throw those topics to the students either as a undergraduate projects based on the nature of the problem statement. Some problem statements are merely literature survey and design kind of thing, where they may end up in say 4 weeks or 8 weeks time. What I find the biggest challenge is problem identification and definition of a problem. And if those problems comes from the industry, maybe half-cooked, but through proper interaction, keeping aside egos from both the sides, and sitting and defining a problem statement, then we have a large pool of students, undergraduate students, a PG student, PhD student, they actually can work. And so I have a couple of success stories where we actually converted this problem statement. We started with summer intern, converted, because in summer intern I can take risk, whether the results are there or not doesn't matter, but I cannot take risk with my PhD students. So gradually taking it up to the PhD student, so that that problem statement which has actually come from the industry, real life problem statements, and the students are solving it. The aim of that problem statement, apart from submission of thesis, can be a product, a new product process, or the boy can find out a job in the industry. So this is what we did, and we have a couple of success stories around that. So this potato biorefinery, orange biorefinery, and a couple of things that I was talking about. For example, when this LCA was made mandatory in Maharashtra for the first time in 2015-16, and there was a lot of hue and cry because how to do LCA. So then we volunteered that we will do LCA without cost. It's academic study for us, and Dr. Kulkarni directed our students. So one PhD student had a topic of doing life cycle assessment only of chemical industries. So he did almost 21 or 22 industries. So we come up with a thesis, solve the problem because it was with no cost, and then they further led to a startup, a sustainable solution. So couple of things have happened. So problem statement identification, the path and the methodology can be different, but this is what we are doing.
Thanks. That's quite interesting actually. In fact, the SLP IDP that we are doing at IIT Bombay has the same objective and similar model. Okay. So now, so if we sort of broaden our horizon a little bit, the topic is sustainability through green chemical processes or chemical industry. Now, green doesn't necessarily mean sustainable. Sustainability, as Mr. Karhale also pointed out, is economic dimension and social dimension. So something that internally we have been discussing is this whole connection between sustainability, green synthesis, and safety. Because process safety actually brings in social aspect, the safety of the employees as well as those around the industry. So I just want to know from maybe both Mr. Karhale and Mr. Naidu, what are your thoughts on how this can be done together? So not just green, but sustainable and safe. Are there any specific initiatives which along these lines?
Hello. Okay, so this is any projects or any assignments, I will just before that I will just like to answer one of your concern about how the students from institutes when they take what they learn in the classroom, how they can convert it into reality. At Godrej, every year we are recruiting fresh graduates from different institutes without any requirements. And though we have vacancy or not, we are recruiting them. We are giving them opportunities to work on their dream projects. Any project, any proposal, which they feel okay, this should be done, this can be done. We allocate certain teams to them. We recruit them as executive positions, minimum executive positions, and we give them a lot of freedom to practice their ideas, to form the requirements in terms of processes, in terms of, and they are basically from all the streams, not only chemical, mechanical, electrical, instrumentation, all these streams. And they come up with sometimes good ideas, solutions. Sometimes there may be some failures also, but then we do not pause that. We give a lot of freedom. Now coming back to this green and sustainable solutions. So any project when we do, we first do its safety assessment. It may be highly economical, but in terms of safety, if it is having any concerns about environment or the people, then we do not undertake those projects. The projects are sent for evaluation. We get it evaluated from the outside agencies also, and after completing the assessment only, then we take up the projects. And at Godrej, we have a policy. We will never compromise on safety aspect. Safety is very most important, and safety not only for people, it's for environment also. We have, I will just share one, it's not directly related to this. We have introduced one soap called, named as Ganga. It was manufactured at our factory in Mandavgane, and we were using Ganga water into the soap. And bringing that Ganga water all the way to Mandavgane was not economical. And when our Mr. Godrej, Mr. Godrej, when he visited the factory, and he casually asked about team, that how are you managing this water? And then the person who was handling this project, he said, oh, we are bringing Ganga water, and then that water we are mixing with the local water, and we are managing this. They said, no. When we say it's Ganga water, it's Ganga, it should be 100% Ganga, otherwise we will not do. And we will stop that product. Now you will not see that product in market. So that kind of ethos we are running through our industry. We do not do anything which is harmful to environment or people. Mr. Karhale can also.
Yeah, for Aarti, sustainability is really taken by founder only than advice. Because founder enforcing for sustainability, that is really drive. They are present every meeting of sustainability. They assign sustainability policy also, a director. Secondly, we are focusing at R&D level. R&D for new molecules as well as old molecules also. We have 300 scientists at Thane. So they are working, whenever there is a new molecule, they are designing all new molecule for safety, environment and sustainability. So product stewardship we are taking at R&D level. So they are thinking this is safest product or not. Many times they are avoiding also new molecule if are not safest. Like one of the example, HF. HF is a hazardous, so they drop that particularly because we have not knowledge or experience. But experienced people, we are taking that HF as a raw material. Like environment side, they are looking for root change, raw material change, waste recycling, waste reduction. Sustainability side, they are looking for really ILCA, like total LCA, and that product energy related CO2 emission reduction at new molecule level. Whenever that products come at technology design and project side, That department also looking for sustainable solutions like equipment selections, equipment installation, construction part like cement, what type of cement, what type of bricks we are utilizing, what type of metal we are utilizing for really that is sustainable or not. So layout for reduction of particularly energy conservation, we are taking benefit of gravity difference also at that level. Selection of equipment efficiency, they are calculating and they are installing. After that, operation level also we are looking for efficiency of the plant. If you are properly efficient 100%, there is a really reduction of energy in all this. If you utilization of the plant 50%, there is a lot of energy required, utility same required. So we are looking efficiency of the plant and all this, replacement of the fuel like biofuel and all this. Even though water conservation, we are recycling about previously 5 years back only 30-40% that condensate recycling back into the boiler. Right now we have achieved about 80%. So there is a two benefit. One is the water conservation, as well as delta T is there. About 50-60 degree delta T we are getting it. We have installed this power plant. We have power plant, but the cogeneration power plant. So that is also waste steam we are utilizing into the processes. So like this at the operation level also sustainability, safety, environment, there is no compromise. I am founder member only. That's why we have one direction, and we have achieved really for 5 years. Many agencies have recognized Aarti as a really sustainable approach for safety, health and environment. And they are not compromising. Last 4 years they are given lot of budget for sustainability improvement. Okay, we are getting benefits from that. Definitely there is no loss due to that budget. We are recovering right now. We are getting many orders from out of country like UK, US and all this. Due to this, we are maintaining a lot of sustainability parameters. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. So let me take a pause, and I would like students to ask some questions. It's really the session is more directed at them. So, any questions for the panelists? I request you to please identify yourself and maybe, if possible, direct the question to a specific panel member. Even guests, at the front, if you have any questions, please go ahead. Yeah. Is it possible?
Yeah. Okay. I'm Om. I'm a third-year undergraduate in chemical engineering. My question is for Professor Potale. So, as you had mentioned that UPL has converted 10 out of 16 of its units into ZLD, and I would congratulate UPL on that. But you mentioned that initially it incurred some cost, and that cost went into the product, but you still went ahead with it. Now it has come out that you are practically getting the ZLD part for free. I just wanted to know how the economics worked out. That even if you're doing some extra refining, even if you're doing some extra processing, how are you not getting it at an extra cost? The similar thing what Sir also just mentioned.
See, when we decided for the first time to convert a plant into ZLD, that much of knowledge was not available, like what way we should convert into ZLD. So whatever technology was available, we utilized that. But at that time, it was a passion that no, we want to convert it into ZLD. So, and there was a commitment of the management to the GPCB, that is the Pollution Control Board, that we will convert one unit. So once we converted, then we started working on the technology, the different technology. So the water which was coming, can we recycle the water? Can we take out the biomass? Can we use the biomass from the other industry? So lot of then research and development happened in that particular work, and the initial cost which was assigned for this ZLD was very high. But since I mentioned to you also that we had a green cell, and the green cell was working only on improving the effluent treatment procedures. So the improvement was to such an extent that they were in a position to develop the bacteria. So a new bacteria for a particular chemical. That was also, to that level the work was done. And where we used to use very high value chemical like hydrogen peroxide, so for decomposing that chemical, side by side the research was going on to develop the bacteria which can eat that particular chemical, and then we reduce the cost of hydrogen peroxide treatment. So that way, over a period, the cost of ZLD was really at par. Like there was no cost of ZLD, which was initially a big cost to the product. But my only point to tell you all is that once we take any target, it is definitely possible to achieve that if focused efforts are put in. And focused efforts was I will say, the specialty where I was working in UPL. We were having different teams dedicatedly working on that particular aspect. And another point was, like, we were taking a lot of help of institute. Professor J.B. Joshi, you must be knowing, he was the director of ICT. He was on our board, and every weekly we used to have meeting with him, 3 hours meeting, and the real chemical engineering was being used in the industry to bring down the cost. And one is generally it's one aspect, but even the cost saving in other products, the targets were so tough that we used to save almost 70 to 80 crore rupees per year due to only the improvements. And improvement then all around, like energy, we were having energy sale also, where they were working only on the steam cost reduction, power cost reduction and all that. Then a green sale, they were working only on the APM related matter. Then Maxpo, working on the chemical engineering, like improving the yield, reducing the solvent consumption, developing a new process, like he mentioned, the route which was changed, like from organic to aqueous route, methanol to aqueous route. One component of methanol which was being used and was consumed to a great extent was eliminated. So these are the ways, and innovation is only the solution for that. So I think it is possible. It is all the way possible to, but maybe initially you don't have that technology, but you put effort, you research, and you get a lot of other technologies which can reduce the cost. Hope I have answered your question.
In addition to Sunil, there is a lot of benefit, if you have ZLD units, so you get easy environmental clearances by Ministry of Environment and Forest. Second, your monitoring, daily monitoring by Pollution Control Board also slightly relaxation there due to the ZLD plan. Third is a lot of vendors, our export vendors, they are evaluating to us. So you are achieved ZLD, then we are getting means lot of orders from there. So that is also hidden benefit by ZLD. Okay. So there is a lot of discussion also. ZLD is a really environmental friendly or not. Correct. If you are marine discharge near to your the Dahej side, there is maybe about 2 kilometers we have marine discharge. And if you are CETP, and there is a distribution system inside that marine, so you are getting about 550 dilution factor. But if you are effluent treatment plant and you are discharging to marine, maybe required 3 kg per KL CO2 emission. If you are ZLD, that is about 11 kg CO2. So there is a debate also for really this is environmental friendly or not. So we are dealing with the ministry also for particular this thing. If you are really marine discharge and if dilution factor is above 500, so avoid ZLD also. Correct. So that much CO2 emission due to ZLD. But there is a hidden benefit like this, Sunil also told, and I am also telling for ZLD. Yeah, thank you.
I just like to share. Basically, see, this ZLD, which is a statutory requirement also. Basically, it's a compliance part. Okay, and initially, if we don't have ZLD, if we don't have the systems in place, the cost of putting JLD seems to be very high. But eventually, when you calculate the cost of non-compliance versus cost of compliance, you find that the cost of compliance is much less, is much lower than the cost of non-compliance. So we never consider it as a cost.
Since you are from undergrad, I will tell you one interesting story. I have a couple of students, undergraduate students, and ZLD comes quite later on. Most important thing is water balance, simple material balance of water, right? And there are really serious challenges in tracking at each and every pipeline, because many a time there is ad hoc pipelines which are not captured in the PNID diagram. So, as an undergraduate student, one interesting exercise when you or anybody is going for an internship is, and that will be a great service to the industry, to have simple material balance of water, right? What around where exactly the water is going. In 95% cases, water balance doesn't match. That's my experience, which we did for almost 10-12 industries. One. Second thing is that the real-time data, how to capture real-time data, right? Third thing is that after doing this real-time data, can I take that entire data and maybe use some tools of understanding and deriving some meaning out of the data? And then finally it will go to ZLT. And unfortunately, ZLT is, in most of the cases, is multi-effect evaporator. And when it is multi-effect evaporator, we have unnecessarily cost. We are evaporating water. And for that you have five-stage evaporator or seven-stage evaporator. You are putting electricity, some kind of fuel, right? So ZLT, as what he was telling, a serious matter of concern. Is that really sustainable? Or can we have some other way where the water that I am discharging can be used for agriculture? There is 6 or 8 months before, there was one committee who was talking about that what can be the parameter and the quality of water which I can discharge so that it can be used for some agricultural use.
Thanks, that's quite interesting. In fact, we have a panel discussion in the afternoon where we'll talk about how to use data, and AI and all those. Yeah, any questions? Yeah.
So, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, so my name is Jainesh Nagari, and I'm a postdoctoral fellow in this chemical engineering department. So my question, or rather I can say my concern, is that we have this, if we have some green chemical alternative for existing chemical products, then can there be any policy which can impose carbon penalty or some carbon tax on the industry? For example, there is a B2B sector where one industry is providing chemicals to another industry, and if some industry has a green alternative, then providing green chemicals to the industry would be more beneficial than providing from the unsustainable industry. So can there be a tax levied on the unsustainable industries? In both the cases, the one who is supplying also and one who is taking also. So then there can be that benefit to the industry who is actually producing sustainable chemical or a green chemical. So my question can be addressed by any of them.
Yeah, basically yes, you rightly pointed out this, and this carbon tax is going to be levied. It has recently been discussed and shared also. Exact details we will share once we are sure about, but that is going to be introduced. This taxation will be there. If we don't go towards sustainable products, we have to pay certain penalty on that. So it is already being discussed.
I have another side for that. Minister of Commerce was seriously thinking about green procurement policy. And there now, if government wants to purchase something, I floated an inquiry, I got a quote, right? Invariably, I will be purchasing the L1, the lowest one. Now, with this green procurement policy, what you are talking will come into place. So, I will, as a buyer, I will have a choice that I may not go only with the L1, I may go with, say, C1, the one company having the least carbon footprint. Right? So So you read about this green procurement policy. It was discussed a lot, and couple of countries having this green public procurement policy in place.
So right now, India level there is no such policy. But if you are purchasing coal, so there is some tax on that, particularly CO2 tax. Second thing, right now, just 1 month back, there is a climate change draft notification published by this Ministry of Environment and Forest. They are talking about lot of ESG initiatives as well as carbon footprint, then water footprint, and commitment from industry. So just 3 days back only I have faced this ESG committee, Ministry of Environment and Forest. So they want commitment from industry net zero. Particularly which year you want to go for net zero. So 2040 or 2050 or 2070, like this you have to give commitment for that. Then CO2 emission reduction trend, or they want this, you have to commit, industry should submit undertaking for that. So that they are enforcing. Water footprint, water reduction, water conservation, they want to do. Like this green belt also. Green belt also one of the CO2 emission. So they are enforcing for 33% green belt inside the premises, you are not other location. So like this there is awareness increase. Many industries have started carbon footprint of each product. And lot of benefits we are getting from other countries. Whenever we are publishing, we have carbon footprint for particular product, and we are reduction trend for that particular product. So they are appreciating our initiative. We are getting lot of orders, export orders. So that is hidden benefit. But shortly, definitely, this type of motivation will be get for good sustainable approach companies in India level also.
I think that challenge is when we are going for a green route and there is another route. Can we make a green route which is L1? That's a challenge. So if you can do that, I think definitely people will prefer that. As of today, yes, because of the competitiveness, people go for the low cost rather than the green. There is no policy, no rule. But can we really innovate and develop a green product, green route product, which is a low cost, is a challenge.
So now,
Last point. One more thing. This green procurement policy was just discussed, but if you go to the website of Ministry of Environment and Forest, there is one policy draft which is open for comment. That is for resource efficiency. That is in 2019 the draft is made in public. Then COVID and everything. But precisely what you are talking about, you will find a lot many things there in that draft on resource efficient utilization.
and so sort of a general comment related to what Professor Potale said, I had come across a statement that we should aim to make comfortable life more sustainable and also sustainable life more comfortable. So I think that's what he's talking about. Don't just focus on, it has to be integration of both. So I think in the interest of time, we have to move on. But the good thing is that we have a tea break following this session. So if you have any specific questions, I'm sure the panel members would be available to answer those questions. So I'm really glad that we had a good discussion, good specific examples of how chemical industry is transitioning to a greener future and what are some of the opportunities. So let me close out. I'll ask you one final question and maybe a brief response from you as a closing statement. So most of these in the audience are actually graduate students, postgraduate students who will be graduating and maybe going into industry. In this specific area, green chemical synthesis or green processing, what do you expect? Do you expect these members to have, these students to have some kind of training? What kind of skill sets do you expect, or what kind of opportunities are there? So maybe briefly, if you can just, each one of you can mention 1 or 2 points as a closing statement. I request you to do that. So maybe we'll start with Professor Sachin.
that the PhD subjects, whatever are chosen, what is the basis for that? I don't know today. But if we can really connect to the industry and understand what is the problems and take that problem as a subject, then there will be some connect. Today maybe you are working on sustainability related lot of subjects. Your thesis will be related to that, but is it really the requirement of the industry? I think that connect, if we can develop, then the work or so much input you are putting in while doing your research will be useful for the particular industry. Say, I will just give one small example which we are working on IDP, SLP IDP. Is one problem from Aarti industry. They are generating HCl 10 kL per hour, which is waste. Okay, and that HCl is having benzene around 2000 ppm, and that problem is taken by our students. How can we reduce that? Professor Yogendra was here. I think he is helping in that. And such a simple solution came out that if we just put one scrubber in between, use product to scrub the HCl that is going out. So from HCl, the organic will be scrubbed, and then you get a better HCl. Then that HCl can be used for some other making some calcium chloride or something else. Now they cannot because there is organic in that. So there are so many problems available in the industry. This is one small example I have given, but there will be a major problem which are really sustainability based, where they need a knowledge, they need input from students like you. But that connect, I think it is missing. The subject you are taking and what is the need of the industry. If some collaboration can be done in that, I think that will help. Thank you.
Yeah, surely. I mean, the students, they should choose their courses or the areas of research based on industry requirements. For example, in industry, there are many processes have been carried out. For example, in surfactant, sulfurization process, there are a lot of opportunities. I will just share one example. So in surfactant technology, there are two major technology providers worldwide, which are very well known. One is from US and one is from European states. And you name any product, any manufacturer, they will be either one of these two. And then recently, all of a sudden, then a new technology player entered, which is from China. And within the span of last 10 years, that technology has taken over these two giant leaders. And very simple, they have done very innovative ways. The same technology, they changed certain concept. For example, one of the, if you know this surfactant, sodium lauryl ether sulfate, which contains dioxin as an impurity. Now that dioxin removal has different processes led by these two technology suppliers. A Chinese supplier came with a different approach. He used that the heat of neutralization, and under vacuum, they provide a simple solution which is very cost effective, and people are going for that one. So this is one example. Similarly, in case of India is producing more than 80,000 chemicals, and they are supplying worldwide. Various packaging materials are used for these chemicals. Then many of the time, the consumer concept is throw away concept. Use that packaging material and then throw it out. So how can we utilize that packaging material? How can we recycle the circular concept? How can we bring in the circular concept in picture? So that's one of the challenges, and there definitely a lot of work can be done.
Thank you.
So, research student on the right track because lot of requirement and how industries. So there is no issue. Only Sunil told that like you have to find out the industry's issue, society's issues, what type of issues they have, On that basis, you can assessment the requirement and you choose the subject. So that subject and that research will be the benefit to industry as well as society. So that is the one way. Second thing, whenever you are in the industry have one mindset, correct? Or production, yeah, economy, all these things. So you have to change that mindset. Always research may be more than benefit our existing systems. If I told now one or two example of this solvent replacement by aqueous water only. So like this, there is a potential knowledge and confidence in that research. So change the mindset of industry. Whenever you are joining industry, change that people, they are working only on production factor, yeah, economic factor. Okay. But you have that knowledge and potential to change that mindset also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So 2 points which I heard from my mentor. He always used to insist that solve the problem for which the solution is needed instead of solving an unsolved problem. One. And second thing is, ask a question. If I don't do this thing, what will happen? If nothing is going to happen, you are solving the wrong problem. So it's the impact and the purpose that's the most important. Keep on asking. If I don't do this thing, what will happen? Right? Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think we need to now wrap up in the interest of time. So on behalf of the organizing student committee and the department, I would like to thank all the panel members for this excellent discussion. And I hope this starts discussion among the student community and we interact more on this topic in future. So thank you very much.
We thank all the panelists for the valuable insights, such as setting up of industry clinics for small-scale industries, field visits for students to identify problems that lie in transformation towards a greener industry. We hope collaboration between academia and industry will help us transition from a chemical to a greener industry faster. Now we request Professor Mandavgane to present the panelists with a token of appreciation. Thank you, Professor Mandavgane.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Potale. Thank you, Mr. Naidu. Thank you, Mr. Karhale. We now thank Professor Shashtri for being the moderator for today's event. With this, our first session comes to an end. We will have a short tea break